Welcome back to another episode of Franchise Nutrition and Fitness Podcast. My name is Ryan. I'm a registered dietitian.
I'm Matt. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified health coach.
And I know that last week Matt did the intro, but this week I'm going to do the intro mostly because Matt is slightly under the weather, and we're going to try and help save his voice for as much as that we're going to talk about today.
That's always well appreciated.
Yeah.
As I sniffle when I say that.
Yeah. It's okay, Matt. We all get sick sometimes. You kind of more so than others, but whatever.
But I had stopped getting sick so often. That whole like social distance and mask thing kind of worked for me. So
that, and also not being an educator helped.
Right, big time.
We traded roles where I now have children, so now I get sick more frequently than. But either way, if you're here, you're enjoying listening to Franchise Nutrition and Fitness Podcast. If you haven't been enjoying it, that means you haven't been listening to the other episodes. So go back and listen to all the other episodes. Tell your friends and family about us. Head on over to franchisenutritionandfitness.com. You can sign up for your free meet and greet there. We can get started helping you reach all of your nutrition and fitness goals. And if you have any questions about anything that we talked about on this episode or on the previous episodes that you're going to go listen to, just head further on down on the franchisenutritionandfitness.com page, hit the contact us link, and send us some messages. Maybe they'll become a future topic on this podcast, or maybe we'll just, try and appease you.
I thought you were going to say, or maybe we'll ignore you because we don't think it's a good idea.
No. There are plenty of good ideas and bad ideas, but the funny part, somebody asked me a question the other day. They didn't know that I was a dietitian, and they're like asking about. So let me go backwards. This will be funny for you, Matt. You'll enjoy it, and it'll lead into what we're talking about.
I'll be the judge of
that. So I work a part-time job at a very large company, and that is because annoyingly someone totaled my car a couple of months ago. So now I have this part-time job, so that way I can earn extra money. But either way, I was working, and I was walking down an aisle, and this guy said, "Hey, man, hey." And I was like, "Who are you talking to?" Like looking around, like I'm not sure who you're talking to. But yeah, man, you do all that adventure stuff. I was like I didn't understand where he was going with this.
Right.
It's like, what do you mean adventure stuff? And he's like, you do like those like scavenger races, like you're like the Spartan stuff. And I was like, it's been a long time since I did one of those, but I did one. He's like, so what do you do now? Like a bunch of like CrossFit, you do like a bike thing, you like to run. And I was like, where are you going with this? And he's like, you look like you do that stuff. And I was like, okay, so
thank you.
A compliment, I guess. And he's like, do you used to do all that stuff? I was like, well, I was a pro wrestler for he's like, oh, that's it, man. You got that walk, like you do that stuff, and like you're good at it. I was like, I gotta just walk with a straight back. So that way my back doesn't hurt as much.
So, see, I look at the way you walk and I just think asshole. Like that.
Well, that's also
maybe it's the same thing. Maybe that's what he saw. It's like, all right, there's that confidence, like somebody's like clearly into like some sort of like physical competition. Like asshole. He was being nice about it.
He was very nice to me though. Like he I taught this guy a lot. And it's always a fun time. But what I think that he went on to be asked about it. Like, so what did you do? How did you get as big as you are? How did you put on the muscle mass? And I told him, I eat really well, in my opinion. Healthiest relationship with food. I say it all the time, but also I lift a lot. So, and I did that way more previously, which helps build a nice, good base. And all of those things, and we'll get into this today, help increase your testosterone, which is pivotal if you want to put on muscle mass.
Absolutely. Like, I think that's a common theme that a lot of people ask, especially coming from the realm of sports as we do, that, like, how can I increase my testosterone? How can I get as big as possible? And testosterone obviously is a hormone that helps aid with that exponentially.
Yeah. And so we're going to kind of talk about some ways that you can increase your testosterone without using exogenous testosterone. So that's the easy way. I'm not saying that I'm against that or for that or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a lot easier to increase your testosterone if it comes from a source that's not your body.
Yeah, it's nice if you can actually produce it yourself, like and increase the production yourself.
Yeah. So we'll start in the backward sense. So if you consume a very large volume of unprocessed foods and you don't move around very much, you are very sedentary, your testosterone will go down. So that's just an annoying fact. Hate to tell you out there, if you know, don't really watch what you eat very well, or you just kind of lays around most of the days, your testosterone will slowly go down.
Like here's the pretty much the general rule for everything. Proper diet and exercise. Like I think most of our themes, like people are like, oh, yeah, seeing something consistent there. If I have a proper diet of the foods I should be taking in, and I'm exercising, particularly lifting weights, because I know it's funny. Like we talk about weight loss. First thing I said, hey, strength training. We're going to talk. We talked about trying to bulk up, weight gain on the last episode. Strength training. If you're asking me how do I increase my testosterone production naturally, you guessed it, strength training.
Yeah, it is the crazy thing, and with food, and we'll get into like a little bit more of the specifics, but to increase your testosterone with food isn't incredibly complicated. It's really focusing on the things we talk about all the time. Make sure you get your fruits, vegetables, lean meats, healthy sources of fat, and vitamin D fortified foods. All of those things, if you get them all in a day and over time, will help slowly increase your testosterone. So if, let's say you're that first example that we mentioned, somebody that is eating a lot of unprocessed food and doesn't move around a lot. I need to preface this too. Like, this applies to both men and women. Like, if you're a woman and you want to be more defined or quote unquote toned, you want to be more toned, you need a little bit more testosterone. I'm not saying you got to have as much as a man, but a small amount of testosterone for both sexes helps increase the muscle mass.
I feel like we need like a Pee Wee Herman like word of the day every time we say tone. Just like, oh,
yeah. I'll figure out how the sound pad works, and we'll start using those kind of. It'll be a really funny thing.
You said the secret word.
There's what was that, guys? It doesn't matter. But we can put a little train whistle. You go whoop whoop. Add it like, oh, that's it.
Tone. It's the tone to tune. It's the tone.
Oh, there you go. Tone. But if you want to increase your tone, if you want to increase your muscle mass, you need a little bit higher testosterone. So we'll start with that person. So the main things when it comes to food, I have some notes over here, so I don't want to misspeak a lot of stuff. If you look up on the internet, which I did when I started looking at this stuff, let's see what is out there. What do people say will increase your testosterone? A lot of it is really interesting to me because they cherry pick a lot of studies, like most things. But they're attempting, a lot of the internet resources are attempting to link together studies that aren't related, to say that if you do this and this, then that'll increase your testosterone. But then when you go and look at the study, if you actually read it, it doesn't actually do those things. Like, I read several studies that didn't actually ever talk about like lab values of testosterone pre-post, just that it might help because they increase
possibly could
increase some other pre-testosterone chemical in the body, and so that way it might increase. There are some specific things, and this is where it goes back to eating plenty of fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and vitamin D fortified foods. There's some specific micronutrients that can help increase your body's testosterone, but that is because getting in adequate amounts of these various minerals and micronutrients, macronutrients, all those pieces help create the actions in your body That way, when you are strength training, you can adequately increase your testosterone. See, they work together.
It's not magic. Yeah.
Like a synergistic kind of thing. But I'll start at the simplest one. So, in my opinion, it's the simplest one because I love peanut butter.
No, you haven't spoke on that at all.
Yeah. I haven't talked about my love for peanut butter at all, never. But peanut butter is a good source of magnesium because magnesium is really high in nuts and seeds. So if you had more like regular nuts, like it doesn't matter what kind of nut it is, tree nut or ground nut, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna have they're good sources of magnesium. Magnesium is the number one cofactor of interactions in the body. I know that's a lot of science in there, but let's just tell you, if your body's doing something, it probably uses magnesium. So increasing your intake of magnesium, it's not necessarily going to be like a huge boost in your testosterone, but what it will help is the mechanisms that create testosterone. So making sure you're getting in a good, nice, healthy source of fat like nuts and seeds. You don't need a ton, just like a quarter cup a day, which would be like if you took a baseball and chopped it into 4 pieces, that amount would be like a serving of peanuts. So
yeah, it's like I always think, I love the little like flavored like Blue Diamond almonds. Like they always have the crazy different flavors. It's 28 almonds is a serving size. And like if you're like me, you're like, I could eat the whole can. You're like, probably don't need to, but because the serving size is 28.
Yeah, 28. It's 28 almonds and it's 300 calories. It's
like, let's maybe not take in 3,000 calories with our almonds today. I'd rather have a more well-balanced diet.
It's a good source of fat though. So I mean, it's good, nice monounsaturated fat there. But the so that's magnesium. And so then scooting on over to so that's the healthy fat. So we'll go over to vitamin D fortified foods. So it's essentially just vitamin D. Like it's used in the body in 146 interactions as a prohormone. So not as a hormone. I just like when people say that. It's a prohormone. It helps create hormones. So kind of like our old friend Halodrol. So, which created a different kind of hormone. I bet you can guess what it is. but vitamin D does help play into the role that helps your body create testosterone also. So getting in adequate amounts of vitamin D will also help your body do all of the things to create testosterone. It also helps with muscle proliferation and muscle protein synthesis. And that pathway is a long path. It's a big map of things that happens there. But that is going to help out in adequate volumes, right? So you don't need to be excessively taking vitamin D. Just making sure that you get 3 servings of a vitamin D fortified product in a day is going to give you enough. If you're an adult, if you are actively working out, like there's nothing that says that you can't supplement with vitamin D, but you don't really need to go over 4,000 IUs. And this is the basic generally healthy population that is an adult. Like you don't really need more than 4,000 IUs of vitamin D in a day. And that's like vitamin D3. Like you don't go out, you need to go out and get vitamin D2. Just get vitamin D3 and you'll be okay.
Is there anybody still listening at this point?
They're all still listening. I'll talk faster. Fine. So fruits, vegetables, all of those things. The vitamins and minerals that are in all those fruits and vegetables also help play into the same roles that help create testosterone. Lean meats, protein sources, and other vitamins and minerals that are inside of lean meats help create more testosterone in your body. So basically, like we always say, or at least I always say, 2 servings of fruit every day, 3 servings of vegetables every day, 3 servings of vitamin D fortified foods every day, and 3 or 4 servings of a lean meat every day. It's going to help you increase your testosterone naturally.
It can't really be that simple, can it? Geez, like, no, it can.
Turns out, yes, it is. So, Matt, if you had to pick out exercises, we know strength training, right? So,
Absolutely.
training, what exercises would increase testosterone the most?
You're looking for those large multi-joint, multi-muscle compound movements, all those typical quote kind of meathead movements, your squats, your deadlifts, your bench press, all that stuff, your overhead press, all that stuff that we enjoy. Like as guys, a lot of guys that are listening to this podcast, like we want to go in there and squat as much as we can, deadlift as much as we can. Like that, those large muscle movements are going to cause the most testosterone production in your body. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, like chronic cardio is going to actually cause you to decrease your testosterone production. So you're one of those guys that just wants to go to the gym and constantly cardio, and no strength training. That could be the cause of the loss of muscle mass.
Yeah, loss of muscle mass, loss of your testosterone. That's not good.
Nope, definitely want that.
Yeah. And so when it comes to women, though, I think this is always interesting. Talking about squats, like when women start squatting, they like instantly get more toned.
Yep.
Instantly get more of their two-toned. And so instantly more. And it's just because it's like the it's a small increase in testosterone, but that helps across all of your body, like squats, deadlifts, and overhead press, bench press, all those big compound movements that Matt's talking about. Those are the biggest contributors to pushing your body. Like you're using the most amount of muscles. And so that causes your body to increase the amount of testosterone production. So
really, again, like you said with the food, same thing with the strength training. Like regardless of what we're talking about, I'm usually saying, hey, large compound movements, multi-joint, multi-muscle, boom, more bang for your buck for everything that we're doing.
Yeah, we're not saying that you got to do each one every day. Like I don't think I would ever suggest to somebody that they do like those 4 big compound movements every single day.
Oh God, no. And if you told me I had to squat every day, I'd tell you where you cram those squats. Like that's
we're getting close to it's September when we're recording this. So I know we're getting close to Squattober, which is like I forget what company puts it out, but multiple people do it now where they put out like a squat every day during October. It's kind of like, nah, man, no, but I'm gonna save my body for the next lift.
Always about some recovery, yeah.
But so that's the big things that we're talking about today. Other ways that you guys think of that could increase your testosterone naturally. Let us know. Check us out at franchisenutritionfitness.com. Send us the contact us. You can also sign up for your free meet and greet while you're there. Head on over to the social medias. We're Franchise Nutrition and Fitness on all the social media platforms. And let your friends know. If they're doing some crazy things that they say could increase testosterone, direct them back to this podcast. This is going to be the help for them to get their muscles bigger and better and help them be more two-toned. So, anyway, like we say every week, maximize every bite,
maximize every rep.